Hello everyone. Give me just a second. I'm just gonna wait for people to come in. Hello. Like I said, just give me a second. I'm just gonna wait for some more people to come in. And I'm gonna start the stream. Let me know if you can hear me as well, so at least this can be set up correctly. I'm just gonna share the link as well. You can hear me? Perfect. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna share everything. How are you guys doing? I will share the link to my FRNDS friends. What are you saying? Okay, just a second. Yes, I'm excited to get started as well, guys. I'm really excited. It's been a while since I did a live, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking for me, but I'm hoping that everything goes well. All right. Sorry, I'm so slow with these. Teach me your way, senpai. Will do. Okay, portfolio review. And there we go. And yep. All right. So this is up in the meantime. So my camera was like glitching so much earlier. I hope it's not like giving you, it's not gonna happen again. But yeah, like earlier, it was like doing all sorts of colors and it was really crazy. So hopefully no one's gonna have an epilepsy attack all of a sudden because of it. And let me know if it does happen, because I won't be looking a lot at this screen. But all right, so welcome to the stream, guys. Let me just set up my notes and everything so that I don't forget. Welcome to the portfolio review. So this is just kind of like an initiative that I want to start, maybe doing like once a month, where I look at portfolios that you will have posted on Discord. And yeah, because I do want to, like, how should I say? I want to have a more active Discord. I had it for a while, but I was really never active on it. And yeah, I kind of want to change that because I feel like it's a potential that's kind of lost. And yeah, so yeah, a little bit about me if you don't know about me. So I'm a 3D character artist now working at Panache Digital Games. I've been in the industry for almost 5 years now. I started in 2016 studying 3D in college in Montreal. And then from there, like I basically saw everything from rigging, animation, all of that. And finally decided that I wanted to do characters. I feel like it was kind of natural for me to go that way because I always drew characters and nothing else, which is kind of sad, but whatever. And yeah, and then from there kind of like taught myself doing characters, but of course receiving feedbacks from people online. So yeah, okay, so without further ado, let me tell you guys how I'm gonna work for the portfolio reviews. I already have some of them up here, so I'm gonna start by the ones that were published by my Patreons, and then I basically go by who were the first ones to be published on my Discord. If for some reason you were on my Patreon but I didn't see your portfolio linked, then you can like message me either like on the chat here and let me know, or DM me directly on Discord. Although I would suggest you write me directly on the YouTube, just because I have the chat open and this way I can see it, and Discord, it's kind of like on the side for me right now. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the first portfolio that I have up is Thiago Brandao. I'm very sorry if I don't say your name correctly, by the way. That might be a thing during the stream, and I'm sorry in advance. Yeah, and something that I want to say, guys, is again, I'm a character artist, so you know my eye is kind of like more keen for characters than anything else. So if for like instance you have a portfolio that's more like props or something like that, then maybe, you know, I'm not like the best at reviewing those. Although, you know, I think like I can probably give some critiques on like basic stuff, but you know, like what prop artists or, you know, companies are looking for, I might be like zero at that. Although I might have an idea, you know? All right. So like I said, starting with Thiago. First of all, I want to say I really like the variety in your portfolio. What I mean is, like for instance, here we have a creature, we have kind of like a historical character, more sci-fi, and then this character kind of makes me think of like, sort of like a God of War type of character. How should I say? Yeah, kind of like a Viking sort of character. So I want to say like, first of all, that I like that variety. And I feel like I also love the fact that, you know, you kind of have one style that's put in the front and that's like realism. So I kind of know where you want to go, which is great. And, you know, of course you have other stuff, but I might go into it like a little bit later. I know that you wanted me, I think, to review the Krampus, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So for Krampus, first of all, really cool character. Just want to take the time to, you know, take it in and sort of see what my eyes tell me. So yeah, very, very cool expression on the face. I feel like, you know, the folds that you did, the kind of like details as if like this guy has been living for a while, like in the forest and just surviving. This is great. The missing teeth, all of these, like even the crooked teeth, like this is like the sort of detail I want to see on the character, you know. I want to see a story behind it, and I feel like this character is giving me that. It's giving me a story. It's giving me where it's coming from. This guy did not live a peaceful life, you know. Hey, Gabriel. So I really love that about the character. Now, for what I want to kind of like add to it, or what you could have improved on, I want to say, is the same way, for instance, for the fur, when I look at it, it's kind of frizzy, it's not straight, there's noise to it. I feel like you could have done the same thing with the beard, like kind of like add more noisiness to it and more variation, because everything feels like kind of coif, which is kind of like contradictory with the rest of the character. So I think it would have been nice, and you kind of have that here on the mustache, kind of like the noisiness, but for the rest of it, it's kind of missing that aspect. The second thing that I'm noticing here is for the horns. So first of all, really great that you have like asymmetry here on the horn. You know, you have one that's longer, one that's kind of cut, as if again he fought and maybe someone cut it. But I feel like my critique for it is I'm missing what the material is supposed to be like here. It feels very flat, and I feel like when I'm thinking about horns, there's a little bit of specularity to it, and maybe that's just my imagination, but maybe we can look into it and see a little bit. Let's see, this guy. It's kind of not great. Oh, here. I mean, this is fabric, so it's not the best. I guess it is kind of flat looking, isn't it? But I feel like you could have added some type of, because you can kind of still see that there is some kind of specularity to it, even though it's very matte looking. It's not like completely, you know, non-reflective. So I feel like if you would have added like a little bit of shine to the surface, we could have understood like a little bit more what the material was like. Because yeah, to me, going back to your character, it feels like kind of very flat and almost sort of like, not plastic, but kind of like cardboard looking. So yeah, adding a little bit more shine to your horns, I think, would have helped. Hello to everybody else who's joining, by the way. Thank you for joining the stream. But yeah, so that would be my critique for the horn here. And I kind of wonder if you're here, by the way, if you did this in ZBrush. I'm kind of curious about it. So let me see. Yeah, so like I said, I like the asymmetry in the character. I love that here you added kind of like the straps on the arms, and here you don't have it. Oh, and something else that I really liked as well is kind of like the movements on the bell. You know, they kind of feel like they're moving, and the material to it is very realistic as well. I feel like you did a really good job at like showing kind of like a used metal, how there are some places that are more reflective than others. Now, the one thing that bothers me, though, when looking at your character is the pose of it. And, okay, this is gonna be strange. I'm gonna, like, go back a little bit so you can see what I mean. He's kind of looking, like, kind of stiff. Sort of like, ugh. Like, and I feel like in this pose, maybe I don't know if you used a picture of yourself, honestly, to do the pose, but I just feel like the arms away like this feels a bit stiff, and maybe if you would have like made yourself scream and like taken a video of yourself or something, I would not be like this. I would maybe be like, I don't know, maybe arms ready to fight or something, like don't take screenshots of me doing that, by the way. But yeah, I think I would have like wanted him maybe have his arms closer, be more ready, or if it was like really, because anyways, I'm maybe going a little bit too much into the pose, but yeah, maybe I feel like it's a little bit more stiff overall, and maybe I would have like revisited the pose itself, and see if like, you know, we can add something a little bit more natural to it. So yeah, so for the pose, like I said, the horns, oh, and something that I thought was a little bit sad, looking at your character is, so we have like a lot of front views, you know, kind of front view, the camera going from side to side, this is great. But something that's sad is we don't have a view from behind, and the reason why I'm telling you this is I can see that you did something. I can see that you did this bag, you spent some time on this. And so maybe it would have been a good idea to like, you know, kind of have like a back view of it or a single shot for your bag, because, you know, if you're spending time on something, you want to show it. And I feel like that was kind of like a missed opportunity for you to showcase, unless you didn't spend a lot of time on it and you feel like it would have brought your piece down. But I feel like for everything, like even the strap, I feel like you've worked it so much, which is really great. So yeah, I feel like it would have been a really cool idea to, you know, show that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I want to hit on this character. I don't want to spend too much time on like one piece, because I know that I have others as well. But maybe I can finish just by looking at another one of yours. Think Tank. Oh, sorry, Think Tank student. This one is really cool. I feel like for this one, your materials are really awesome. They're really selling what they're supposed to be. Like metal, the fabric, everything is there. That's really cool. And the design as well. That was a really good pick for a character. Amazing. Come on, picture, load. Oh, and by the way, guys, I hope the stream is like fine on your side. Hopefully. But yeah, that's really, really cool. I think for me, wait, let me see. So this is loading. My only critique for this character that because again, also I don't want to spend too much time on your portfolio, but let's go back up for a still image. Do you have a concept for this one? Yes. Ah, okay. Let me open up a pure ref here. Stream seems good. Okay, good. Perfect. It's always a fear for me because like I'm not going off of like a cable, I'm going off of like Wi-Fi, so Let's see. Let's put this guy over here. And what I want to do, I'm just gonna crop this. Oops. And compare. Now, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing, but the one thing that really bothers me when looking at the character is the proportions. And I think it's because of the head. I'm not quite sure by looking at it, but it kind of feels like he's very small, kind of like dwarf-ish looking. And I think it's for a few things. So let me use the snipping tool. I'm gonna do this. And then I just need to put this apart. Can I make this bigger? Yes. All right. All right. So here for the characters, for the character itself, I feel like here the hips. Oh, can I draw? Okay, hips are here. I feel like here, yeah. I think you either should have made the legs longer, kind of like stretch it out so that it looks like he's a bit taller, or maybe it's the illusion, because you know how, okay, I want to show you guys a picture. I think it's Loomis. I don't know if that's actually just for the face or you have the body as well. Here. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, probably. Oh, this is even better. Proportions of the body. Hello, hello everybody. Okay. So, what makes somebody look small or big is usually the ratio of the head to the body. What I mean by that is the taller we are, the more amounts of time our head can enter our body. For instance, if we're looking at this tall version, like this tall person, the head I think fits about 7 to 8 times. Normally it's like 7.5, but this one is like super tall, so it's like 8 heads. And if you're looking at like a 1-year-old on this drawing, the head enters like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So what is presented here is the head is bigger. It's not bigger than the body. It's just that the body is kind of smaller in comparison to the head. And so that's something that I would want to check, is how many times this head could fit inside of body. Because this one here looks small in comparison. And I feel like the reason why you would have made that mistake is when I'm looking at this concept here, I feel like the camera is looking a little bit from above. So, you know, perspective wise, it would make the character look smaller. But in reality, I think you would have to check with like a real person and check like how many times this head enters the body. So it would either be that, or maybe the torso is, because I can kind of see that torso and like legs are about maybe the same length. So maybe either have the legs be longer or have the hips like arrive a little bit higher on the body. But proportions wise, I think that's like something that you would have to check to make it look like a little bit bigger. Now, okay, it's already been like 20 minutes since I've been on this one. I'm gonna move on to another person, but really cool job that you did, Thiago. Amazing. So I'm gonna move on to the second person, which is Amelie, sorry. Just going to check. The cape made him look wider. Yeah, I closed the tab so I won't be able to tell, but indeed, maybe that was a case. Also, this case would be valid to adjust the concept to fit a more conventional proportion. Exactly, I do agree with that. All right, so let's move on to Amelie, like I said, which I think another student from Think Tank. Really great. And Amelie, like I've known you as well. Like from before, I've had the pleasure of you know, showing you a little bit of character creation, so I'm really excited to see what you've made. I mean, I've seen a little bit as well, but I know you're still in production for your next character. But since I can see what you're currently working on, I'm going to go ahead and go with what we have here on your portfolio, which again, I've seen before. But yeah, let's take the time to look at it. So, Lord, real-time character, let's have a look at it. So first thing that really jumps to me, like that really is obvious to me, is the pose is really natural here. And this is kind of like, I guess, going back to the other character. This one, like even the hands, I can feel like it, I don't know how to say, but it really feels natural. It really feels like, usually I can see some hands that are like super open or like too stiff, like all the fingers are together, but you made the effort to make it look like very natural, which I really love about the character. And the pose itself, I love that you took the time as well to not keep the character in a T-pose. So this is really fantastic. So again, let me take the time to look at the character and really take it all in. Really, really cool. Okay, and again, like also the presentation, the fact that you show the head, you show the behind the scene with the topology, the UVs, this is all really, really great. Okay, so really awesome character. What I want to point out to you, I'm just going to go back here to where we see a little bit more of the skin. And this might be intentional, but I feel like when I look at the skin of your character, everything feels kind of dry. And this might be because of the roughness. I don't know if you used like 3D scan stores maps and you kind of used it to, like for the cavity, for instance, and kind of like, used it to kind of remove the specularity from some zones of your character. But I feel like overall, maybe make it less rough, kind of like keep more of a glossy look to the face of your character. You don't want it to necessarily be completely zero in terms of reflectiveness. I would say always keep it like a little bit higher, maybe 0.25. I'm giving you numbers, but I know it's kind of like values, like gray values, but maybe try to keep it less on the black side and kind of like keep more of like, like I said, more of a reflective value that's very subtle so that it doesn't feel as dry as the skin is looking right now. And the other thing I would say is maybe it also is because of the lighting, because here, I mean, we're further away, but I would say maybe make it a little bit more like subsurface, like maybe add a little bit more. Again, maybe it's looking very rough just because of the roughness, and if you fix the roughness, maybe the subsurface would look a little bit more natural. But just because of how it looks right now, I would say maybe to overall add a little bit more of it so that it doesn't look as stiff as what it's looking like right now. Otherwise, like the face to me looks really cool. I love, you know, how they made the brows as well, the direction. Like that's something that I see a lot that people do that don't necessarily follow the direction of the brows. What I would say though overall for your presentation of your character that I find kind of sad is that, oh, don't tell me the camera is bugging again. Damn. Yeah, that's what I was telling you guys at the beginning of the stream, is this might happen and I have no idea why. Let me see. Okay, so I might just remove it for now, and sorry guys, I don't want to give you like an epilepsy attack. All right, so let's continue on this critique. But yeah, overall what I wanted to say that I find kind of sad is for the lighting itself of your character, because everything is very black, right? Even on your character you have black. So what that does is like we kind of lose where your character ends and where your character begins. You know, like here I'm really not sure where the clothing is. It's really blending with the background. So I would say for a character like this, it would have been good to either have like a background, maybe he could have been in a castle or something, and have it blurred out so we could see more of your character. Because the lighting itself could have been good if the background wasn't black. It's hard to tell with this, but you know, I believe further down we see, yeah, here with the gray, see like we can see better, you know, the silhouette of your character, which, by the way, I love the silhouette of your character. I love that these straps, so if I go here like this, I love that these straps are going out of the legs. I love that here we have a symmetry. The color as well is creating a symmetry. Overall, like the design itself of the character is very, like, really great. I think it really has to do with the lighting that I wished here on the presentation would have been like a little bit lighter. The other thing here, okay, I'm going back here to this close-up shot. I kind of wish that there was a seam line here for the color, because usually, how should I say, like when you sew a collar, it's gonna be like a different piece, or you're gonna, because like for the fabric itself to go all the way up and do this kind of, how should I say, unless it's kind of like a kimono, but even a kimono I think would fall a bit more down than like go up on the neck. So I think to have a seam line here would have been really great and a nice touch to the clothing. And the other thing here I would say is for the embroidery, I'm sorry. Here, I feel like it would have been nice if this was another mesh, because I can see that it's been baked, unless it's a detail that's been sewed on top of the kimono. I'm gonna call it a kimono here. But I feel like this is what's used in order to, how should I say, attach the clothing together. So I feel like this would have been really nice if it was its own mesh, so that we could really feel it interacting with the buttons here. But yeah, overall, like I said, really great characters, sorry. And yeah, let me see another one. Like I said, just to do an extra, but I don't want to spend too much more time on your portfolio, like I said, because there are other people. But yeah, so maybe a comparison that I can make for this skin, I feel like this is looking a little bit more natural. We can't see the pores as much, but it still feels like, and here I do think there's more subsurface scattering. I don't know that it is more reflective, but it does feel a little bit more natural. Maybe a little bit too much subsurface, but still I feel like it's looking softer, like what skin should look like, if that can be a reference to you. Okay, Emily, thank you for, again, submitting your portfolio. And now let's go on to the next person, which is Harsh. Again, very sorry if I'm not saying your name right. Okay, before I continue on, let me see if my camera is still giving us an epilepsy. Yes, it is. Okay, let me just see if I can fix it. Okay, property. Let's go back to USB. All right, cool. Let me guys know if it still does it. And again, I'm very sorry about that. I'm not sure what the problem is. Okay, so going to Harsh's portfolio. So this is more of a props artist, I believe. So this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so we have one character here. It's more kind of like on the stylized side, but wow, the colors, really cool. I feel like for you, interesting. So you started from an AI image and then you changed it. Really interesting. Wow. I kind of want to touch more on your props, because I feel like you have so many props. I feel like this is more of what you're looking to sell yourself as, like maybe a prop artist. I see 2D and 3D artist. But nice. Again, like the detail on this is really great. And again, I'm not a prop artist, so I'm just like going off of like what I know, but the details on this, the materials, like how it's been used and everything, this is really amazing. And even like the strap here, I really love what you did on this prop. the details, wow. This is really great. I think you could have even added some like maybe fingerprints on the regions where maybe the fingers would have like played with the, I don't know what that is, but like where the numbers is, maybe like you can rotate it. So maybe it would have been cool to add a little bit like fingerprint to it. But like the details are so natural, and I can see like the variation of color on the green. It's not like a flat color, which is so great. This is like a very great, I would use this as an example to follow, honestly, for like a prop. Okay, I see the chat moving here. Where can I share my portfolio? Like Shiny said, yes, on Discord, you could have like submitted it. And someone has a question, Toya, you can ask away. But yeah, overall, like I said, the props are really cool. And here it's looking kind of like stylized, and I can feel that this is what you were looking to sell as well. The details are amazing. This is really great. I really don't have anything to say. Again, I'm not a prop artist. Maybe some prop artists here would have some stuff to say, but to me, this is really looking cool. Do we see the topology, even this, the texture-wise? Really nice job you did, Harsh. Let's see a chair over here. Okay, well, if there's one critique I can make for like one of your pieces, is for this one, the chair. I do feel like the resolution of your leather texture is kind of low quality, if I can put it that way. And then the stitches, I can kind of feel that there's a little bit of jitter going on around them. But this is like me being very sippy picky, and this is also like an older piece, like last year. So, you know, overall, like, and also like some of the stitches are like going on top of each other. So that's not great. But like, again, like your other piece were already showing so much improvement that it's like me going in for, you know, like being very picky on my details. So very nice job, Harsh, on your portfolio. I feel like this is really nice. And I feel like you have something for props, so maybe you can continue showing more of that. It's really great. Okay, let's move ahead to Snake 3D's portfolio. Before that, let me check the chat. Yes, the props are very nice. Do you think someone needs to go to college, 2 years, 4 years, or a master to become a 3D artist and work for the industry? My answer to that is no. You really don't need to go to college. I think like for anything, really, you can learn it by yourself. I think the difference is, for me, I come from college. I've been to college for 3 years. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, it was to see, how should I say it? It was to see how to do everything from animation, rigging, 3D modeling, like everything, name it, matte painting even. And so this, I think, is a great way to expose you to the different type of jobs that there are. So if you're not sure, I think that's a great way to get introduced to them and see what you like, what you don't like. And the other thing is, I think it's a great way to have something kind of like structure and show you like the different steps of creation of something, because like sometimes you can look online for some stuff that are specific but in like different orders, and so maybe you don't know what UVs are and you don't know what the importance of them are, and then maybe you're just like doing texture vertex painting, and so if you don't know about UVs, that might be problematic, and maybe you'll learn about them later. There are some stuff that you might, how should I say, that you have to figure out on your own that might not come as natural as if you're presented to them in college. So I would say that if you're somebody who's like very independent, that can look for stuff by themselves, you know, that you're self-taught for a lot of stuff, I feel like going on your own and just learning how to do 3D is totally possible. But if you're somebody that likes things to be structured, you like to, like, let's say you, how should I say, you're not good at doing 3D work because you're, I don't want to say lazy, but let's put it that way, you're lazy. If you have a structure like school that tells you for this deadline you have to do this modeling project, then I think it's a good thing to go to school, to have like structure and have homeworks and have things to build up to your portfolio if you're not able to do it on your own. So that would be my answer for you, Toya. No, Toya. Oh yeah, Toya, exactly. But yeah, so okay, let's continue with Snake 3D's portfolio. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. I've seen somebody else, by the way, do this character specifically, so it's interesting to see a different variation of it. So let's look at it. Okay. Very cool, very cool. You did topology, you did sculpting wise, really great. I believe, oh yes, yeah, it's definitely this one. I've seen it before. Oh, and you even have the Marmoset viewer, great. I'm curious to know if for the skin you've used a 3D scan store, maybe this is saying it. It's not. Okay, well, the details are really nice either way. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I want to first start by saying that the face I feel like is very interesting. I don't know if this is bad to say, but you know, the concept is looking like indigenous, kind of like a Mayan. I don't know if that's the right term, but the face I feel like is really giving, like, it's not, how should I say, it's really giving the ethnicity that the concept is portraying, which I feel like is very cool. It's very nice that you were able to achieve that. What I would say to me that's jumping off of like this first image here is for the tattoos, it's kind of lifting. There's some height to it, which, you know, it's not the case when you look at someone's tattoo. It's usually just drawn on top of the skin. So I would tell you that for the tattoos, that would be my first critique, is kind of like remove the height. Unless you wanted it to appear differently and not have it be like a tattoo and be it like a Black Panther, you know how they had like some skin that were lifted and stuff. That maybe that's what you were aiming for, but tattoo wise, I wouldn't give it a height, you know. I would just have it be inked on the skin, right? The other thing that I like though about is the hair. I love that it's messy, because I feel like this is a type of character that's like in nature, that's kind of like maybe hunting or something. So I like that. I think it's missing a little bit more density on top of the hair because I can see through it. But other than that, you know, I like the direction that it's going for. But even here, I would say add a little bit more thickness to the hair. Unless he's like starting to bald and he's maybe like a little bit on the older side. I think that's what I would go for. The other thing that I'm noticing, and I don't know if it's the case, but I feel like I don't know if you did the face and the body separately and then you kind of like combined them. I have a feeling maybe because I can kind of see a line here, unless it's the tattoo and how it's made. But I feel like, wait, okay, this is gonna sound strange because I'm looking at the nipples and they feel like inverted, kind of like as if it's going inwards instead of outwards. Yeah. Okay, but I maybe check that, or maybe it's like the texture of the nipple is not at the right place. This is very strange. I'm like commenting on the nipples, but whatever. But yeah, like I would say check that because it does feel like a little bit offset. There's something wrong with it. But other than that, like the skin itself, I would say maybe work a little bit on the fact that it maybe looks a little bit plasticky on the body. And maybe that's what could be the cause of it. I feel like maybe if you added a little bit more cavity to it so that it's not as uniform, and maybe what would have been interesting actually is add a little bit of sweat in some places of this character, because you know he's in nature, maybe he's running. Always think about the story of the character, right? Like if I'm thinking about this character, what type of details could I add is in relation to the story I want to tell, right? The other thing I'm noticing here is for the scarf. Did I open this? Yes. There's a little bit of distortion here that's going on, and here as well, so you might want to be careful for it. A trick for it actually is to do in Marvelous Designer, because I don't know if this is like, oh, actually there's one way to know. I'm gonna look at your topology. Let's see. Oh no, it is okay. It's like the piece itself is doing this. So okay, no, I think okay. So just maybe fix the UVs to have it, you know, follow the actual direction. So another thing is for the hand itself. Okay, so that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier, is the stiff hands. I feel like on this character itself, you have kind of like the stiff hand syndrome where they look like not natural. When if you do like the exercise for yourself and you relax your hand, you'll notice that, okay, wait, let me look at it. Like usually the 3 first fingers will come together, and then maybe the index will come separately, as well as like your thumb. Hopefully the camera was not bugging as I was saying that, because then that was for nothing. But yeah, I would say like maybe fix how the hands appear. And then the other thing is they kind of feel like a little bit like spaghetti. And what I mean by that is we're not seeing here the crevices of where the finger is going to fold, right? So you want to be careful with that, or else it's going to look, like I said, kind of like a spaghetti where there's really no shape to it. So kind of like the more subtle details in your sculpt. The other thing is here for the outfit of your character. It would have been interesting to maybe have, and again, I'm just going to use the snipping tool here. This is my favorite tool, if you didn't know. Maybe have some dirt go from the bottom a little bit higher, like this, to have it seem like maybe this was, I don't know, when he goes in the water, well, this will be going in because maybe the water goes up to here. And when you're doing like here, you have the fabric is kind of like ripped. It would have been interesting to add some kind of like, how do you call it? The threads that are like going from one part to another, to kind of like add realism to it. But yeah, other than that, here I love like the materials that you did, the metal. Maybe if you added a little bit more variety, but I think it's really selling. The bones here, I feel like this is really cool how you did the details. I think this is really well done, as well as the little gems here. Let me see if there's anything else I can comment on. Okay, when you present a character, make sure that the feet are always touching the ground, because these are like little details, right? Like it might sound like nothing, but to me, it's like, it shows when somebody takes the time to look for these types of details, if that makes sense. If you're taking the time to make sure, okay, the feet are actually touching the ground for it to look natural. Like it's these little details that kind of makes your portfolio stand out, you know? What else can I say? Basket, so this is great that you made the different views. Maybe I think one thing that I could add to this before moving on to the next person is, it's great that you did a studio light. Studio lights are really amazing when you want to showcase some stuff that are not visible when you're showing your character in like an environment or like in a different lighting that might be a little bit more dramatic. But I do think it's really important to show your character in a lighting or in an environment that's proper to them. And the reason why is, again, it's selling even more your character, because especially like, let's say you want to go in games, your character is going to end up in like a game lighting in a different setting. And I feel like if you can show that your character, how should I say, what it looks like in a different lighting in an environment that's in a game, then it might help sell it and sell the story again. So yeah, congrats again, Snake. I don't think I'm gonna spend any more time. I've been spending like 15 minutes on each portfolio. I don't know if like that's too much, but anyways, let's look at the chat before moving on to the next person. How Hi, Abhishek. The take that I have is that having a good portfolio is awesome, but it doesn't matter if you have zero experience. The HR is simply gonna pass your CV once, saying you haven't worked before. Having a portfolio is awesome, but it doesn't matter if you have zero experience. Okay, I see what you mean. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily that it doesn't matter and that they're gonna move on to the next person. It really depends on what the offer is, right? Like if they're looking for a senior person and you're someone that has zero experience, of course they're not gonna be interested in you because and by the way guys, what a senior is somebody that can, well, first of all, that have experienced the entire pipeline of a game, right? That knows the pipeline, that knows the different steps of making a game, that have experienced all of it. So they come with all of that experience. So that's first of all. The second thing is they come with speed, right? Because you have experience usually. And third thing is you can mentor people. So that's another thing that some people don't know about seniors is like you get to mentor the juniors, you get to mentor even the intermediates in your team. If you have some new workflows, you can introduce them and so on. So I would say this is like what makes a senior, and this is why a junior, usually if you apply for a senior job, that's why you're not going to be an interesting candidate. It doesn't mean that you can't apply, because they might remember your portfolio and they might want to save it for later when they have an opportunity. So I wouldn't even tell you to not apply. You could totally apply. Like, let's say that there are no jobs and you see a senior job and you're like, well, might as well. I would still do it. Just because, like I said, they might remember your name, they might remember your portfolio, think you're really great, but it's just not for that specific opportunity. They might come back to you later, right? The other thing is, the reason I think why experience come handy is, again, they know that you've experienced the pipeline. So it's, how should I say, it's gonna come handy to have experience in comparison to other people. So if there are two candidates that are juniors, you have one that has experience in the industry, it could be in an indie studio or something, and the other one has just as good as a portfolio, but doesn't have that experience, then that's where the difference is going to be mostly. Again, some people might want to prioritize experience overall just because in their experience, maybe experience like is going to be better. Like maybe they've seen candidates that have amazing portfolios, but when they hire them, they can't do everything. So that's kind of like my gist on it. I think for someone that doesn't have experience, what's really fundamental is having contacts. And if you know somebody, if you like kind of like reaching out to people and having mentors, like I said in my story, if you haven't seen my video on it, for me, I didn't have any experience in the industry whatsoever, right? And what I did is I contacted all sorts of artists on ArtStation. Doesn't mean that they're going to answer, but the ones that answered, I would ask them for feedback. I would ask them, whatever that could help me. And some people are really great and they have, I don't know, they maybe have time and they will tell you, oh, I want to mentor you. And when they see your evolution, how fast you move, and they've worked with you because they've mentored you and they know how fast you are with feedback, that's when it becomes interesting because you have a relationship with the person, so you trust them because you've mentored them. And this is where usually they will be like, okay, I want that person to work with me because I've worked with them in their portfolio. So yeah, that's my gist on it. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next person now. All right, and now we're to Bohdan, I believe is how I say your name. Again, very sorry if I mess it up. And let me drink a little bit of water. All right. Okay, first of all, I want to say this piece, I've seen it before and I thought it was really freaking cool. I love it. I don't even think, because I've seen it before, right? I don't think I have like any feedback. My feedback is like, people, this is this is like a really great portfolio piece. Like, this is amazing. Like the background, I don't know if this is like an image or if you actually put some elements on the scenes to create this, like the bridge from Arcane, the clothing. And actually, if I remember well, because I want to scroll to the video, I believe that there was a video. I remember watching, oh, I believe it's here. It's maybe not loading, but I remember watching the video and seeing like the little details that you've added to this character. Well, too bad it's not working. That's so bad. Maybe my Wi-Fi is really bad. But anyways, what I wanted to say, like, you even had like some leather parts coming off. Can I see this here? Yes. Here, I don't know if you guys can see, because I'm gonna really zoom in. Here, there are some threads are coming off of like the leather. The fact that you have the beige, you understand how it works. I believe on the video we even see like the chipped nail polish here. Oh, can we see it here? Yeah, like the chipped nail polish. This is such a nice detail. The little threads here on the clothing. This is the type of thing that makes me think that you thought about it in every way. You thought about the material, you thought about the little details to make everything seem so realistic and have a story behind it. Even like how the skin is not like completely clean, the tattoo, how it looks. This is really such a great piece. And then, like, in all honesty, like also such an inspiration to me, like how everything was rendered. It is really amazing. So yeah, maybe somebody else would have a critique for it, but for me, like, this is such a cool piece and yeah, such an inspiration. So yeah, thank you, Bohdan, for submitting your art. I really don't have anything to say about it. I hope you're not disappointed or I hope that makes you happy. Yeah, it looks really cool. Oh, my camera is glitching again? Damn. It's Jinx playing with my camera. Oh my god. Okay, let me try to fix it before I move on. Let's do this. I was supposed to use my... Oh god, it's worse. Oh no, it's better. Okay. I was supposed to use my Canon camera, but I bought a new computer, so I don't have the plugin yet. By the way, guys, let me know. Okay, this is... Wait. Okay. I'm gonna remove the camera for now, and I'm gonna put it later if needed, if I need to explain something. Alright, let's move on to another portfolio. Guntam. Alright, so Guntam, you've your link was bringing me, I think, right away to... Was it bringing me to this piece or your portfolio? I forget. But okay, let's have a look at it. And oh, and thank you. Who was it? Rajdeep, for your comment. Okay, like I said, let's have a look at this piece of portfolio. All right. Okay. Nice. First of all, okay. I want to say noses are usually really difficult to do. And I feel like you've captured, anyways, on this render, I can't see your sculpt, but I feel like you really understand the different planes of a nose, which is really great, especially here for the nostrils and stuff, and the fact that here we can see the little bumped inside. This is really great. Now for the pouting face, do I have a mirror to see myself? Okay, give me, guys, like 2 seconds. I'm gonna like take a mirror. And there is really no better way to like see if something works than having a mirror next to you. I'm like pouting. You can't see, but I'm literally pouting. Okay. All right. Hey, Goram. Okay. So, okay. So this seems to be okay. This seems to be all right for the pouting. I think for me, I think what doesn't work is, let me see. Do I have a still image? I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna verify the proportion. And this is what I call the, well, it's not me that calls it that, but the Loomis proportions. So Loomis proportions is that from chin to nose, it's gonna be 1/3 of the face. From the nose to like about the eyebrows, it's another third. And then from the brows to the forehead, it's gonna be another third. And from what I'm seeing, okay, I'm like touching my screen now, I'm like measuring. Seems to be, maybe the forehead is a little bit big, but maybe she does have a very big, small, like forehead. Let me see. Okay, I think for me, what doesn't work is the labial lines here. Usually the labial folds will start here, after like the end of your nostrils. So here and going down like that. So that would be the first thing. So that this line over here, I would just completely remove it. So that would be my first thing. And then this way, the pouting, I would not make, because right now your line is kind of like going diagonally. But when I'm doing the pout, it's actually not. Unless once more your reference was like otherwise, usually it's going to be like a little bit straighter like this for the pouting shape. Okay. The other thing is, because I'm noticing there's an angle to the camera. It's also like super close to it. I feel like the camera is angled from under, so it's a little bit difficult for me to like tell exactly if things are like proportions wise or a little bit off. But yeah, the other thing I want to say is like for the eyes, so here it's great because it doesn't have any makeup. I don't have a side view, but that could be helpful for anybody that's like trying to do eyes. Just gonna do, okay. So what I want to make sure when you make eyes is when you look at it from the side, you want to see a triangle like this. Okay, it doesn't have to be like super straight, but like let's say this is the eyeball. This is what you want to see. Okay, and then when you're looking from the top, so now this is a top view, so this is side, this is going to be top. So let's say that this is the corner of your eye, so this is it. It's going to do a little bit of a curve like this. Okay, and what's going on here, why is this protruding a little bit more, is because of the iris here, which if you didn't know, an eyeball is not a circle, I mean a sphere, it's not like a perfect sphere. It actually has a little bump to it, right? And this is where this comes, right? So this is kind of like what, I mean, apart from the fact that the sphere is actually going out, this is going to push the eyelid, outwards. Okay, so this is kind of like the top view and the side view. And now for the front view, okay, usually I'm trying to have this. And this, wait. Okay, this is going a little bit further up, down, same thing here, kind of like 3 points, and then like this. Okay, and this is usually where the eye is. All right, so okay, so here I feel like for your eye, we're kind of like, well, the eye is looking this way. So I feel like you should make it kind of like more obvious with sharp line. I really love when sculpting, when everything is kind of obvious and has an intention. So that's what I would say, is like kind of make harsher lines, and then you can kind of like smooth them a little bit so that everything is sort of like more obvious. I would say the chin is a bit masculine too. It is a masculine chin, but you know, there could be some women that have this type of chin. The chin did not necessarily jump like out of place to me necessarily, because I feel like honestly it doesn't look this bad. I feel like overall Gantam would suggest you to look for head planes. I would really suggest you to look at this. And what I would suggest you, like overall, is try to reproduce this head, maybe the head planes, and understand fully. Because I think for you, the problem is like the planes, some of them are alright, but I think especially on the lower part of the face, it needs a little bit more work. But yeah, that would be my comment to you. And for the ears as well, I would like see that again. And the final thing I'm gonna say before moving on to someone else for your piece is for the hair itself. I would say, because here I can see that it's clumping, right? So let's do a screenshot once more. So we have this point here, we have this point here, and we have this point here. And it's not gonna be the case like that, you know, you're not gonna have like super big spaces like this unless like something happened and maybe you have a scratch or maybe you're balding. But your hair is gonna be, you know, spread out evenly, like a little bit everywhere and randomly. And the clumping is going to happen usually if the hair is being pulled, let's say to have an elastic, and this is where you're going to see the clumping. You're not going to see it here at the very beginning, unless not in a very specific way as like what you're doing right now. It's like very pointy. And actually, in terms of hair, what I would suggest you guys to check is, what is it called? Anatomy for, there you go, groom face fuzz. There you go. I would check this out, by the way. Well, this doesn't necessarily help for your case specifically, but I just thought that that would be an interesting to check out for the groom itself. All right. Perfect. Great job, Gantam. Let me see now if I can. There. Do this. All right, let's try to fix this. USB, and no. All right, sorry guys, the camera is simply not working. All right, so it's okay. Let's move on to the next person. And okay, who is this? Polish 3D. Okay. So let's go with Polish 3D. By the way, guys, it's already been an hour. I'm gonna try to do maybe like 30 minutes more, so I might spend like less amount of time on like every pieces that I'm seeing, and I'm very, very sorry if I don't have time to touch on your art piece, and maybe hopefully next time I can touch on it. Okay, so for Polish 3D, let's have a look at your character. So Viking, really cool. Let's look at it. The hair. Oh, damn. This guy's worked out. I really like the proportion of this guy. I feel like everything is looking super nice. I feel like you've nailed the like muscle anatomy as well, like the very like big quads. Yeah, this looks really cool. Okay. Taking it all in once more. Okay, and great presentation. All right, let's jump up. Okay, so like I've mentioned before for other characters, I feel like for you, well, okay, wait, let's see. So we have this. Okay, so you have somewhat of a pose here. As I can see, you have one hand that's open and then one hand that's closed. I do feel like it's not looking like very natural in terms of the hands itself. Again, what I would suggest you is kind of like do the pose yourself and then try and see like, you know, what looks natural and what doesn't. Because here it kind of feels like folded in a weird way. Usually you're not gonna fold your hand all the way to the knuckles. It's like your fingers are gonna be straight. Like again, let's do a screenshot here. Okay, so it's not gonna fold here usually unless like you're forcing it to fold like this, and like maybe you're gonna wanna like have your hand closed. I feel like usually when you let your hand be naturally opened, it's more gonna be like an open angle like this, you know? So I would revisit this, well, and again guys, like if I'm critiquing your piece, it's not necessarily for you to go back on it. You can do those, take those feedback for the next piece. And that's actually what I would suggest you instead of going back to an old piece that you've worked on. But yeah, other than that, like I love the little details that you've added, the little threads here. I think this is really cool. The leather really feels like leather, which is really nice. I really feel like you've nailed how reflective it needs to be and the roughness, and like I feel like you've also added some type of fuzz, which is really great. And the tattoo, by the way, really feels like it's recent, like there's some kind of redness to it, which I really love. I feel like overall the details that you've added to the texture, they don't feel like a one flat color, which is really great. I feel like my critique or what is bothering me at the moment is really the hair, and we can kind of like see it more over here. It really feels like hair cards. It doesn't feel like a groom, if I can put it that way. And I feel like it's especially because of like the spacing, first of all, between all of your hair, here, 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 right? And also, okay, let's not lie, like this very big piece over here, if you wanted to have like pieces like this go out of like the flow of your hair, usually you would need it to be like, let's say this is one hair card, and then let's just use another color, then maybe you would have it to be like 2 strands or something, so that you can create some type of noise on top of your hair. Otherwise, don't use thick hair cards. And what I mean by that, again, if this is a hair card and we're doing the hair, don't use ones that are like super thick in order to create noise here, or else it's not going to look natural. The other things that I can suggest is that you could add different values to different layers of your hair, so that we can tell which are on top and which are at the bottom. And do I have an example of that? Oh man, because this is my new computer, so do I have my files that I can show you? Okay, I'm gonna let this Katniss, maybe fiber. Oh my god. Marmoset. Okay, wait. Let's see. Textures. Do I have a great example here? Hair. Oh, hair. Oh, hair. Oh my god. Okay. Oh no, I don't have it here. Oh, I do. Okay, great. There you go. So these are hair cards that I did, hair texture, sorry, that I did for my Katniss character. And this was created using Fiber Shop, okay? And what I did, as you can see, is I have like thicker hair cards here, hair textures. And then here, they're kind of like medium color, if you could say, like kind of like the average of the two. And then here I kind of like added some type of lighter color on top. And the logic is the darker colored hair, so these two, are used at the very bottom of the hair. Okay, kind of like the sculpt, if you will. And this is kind of like, how should I say? This is giving the impression of layers or depth to your hair. So that would be my first layer. The second layer, so those 3 hair cards, I was used to give the flow to my hair. So for instance, if we go back to this character from Polish, so these hair that are giving the direction, I would use these 3. And then the last ones, these that are the lightest, you can see that there's less opacity, if you will, or like less amounts of strands. So I would use them to either some type of noise, so that means like hair that are going just anywhere that are not following the overall flow of your hair. And yeah, I would just use it like that overall. So yeah, I think that this is what's missing in terms of your hair. And I think what's not helping when I look at the beard as well is you can kind of feel it as well. And that's because every single strand of your hair has the same opacity. And by opacity, once more, I mean they're all like super thick. So it's kind of like as if you're using these only to do the beard, while you should use these thinner ones to kind of like mix it up. And what I mean by that is, again, let's open this image and I'm gonna take a screenshot of the beard, make it bigger. Okay, so in areas like this where we can see that they are hair cards because of the separation, I would use like noisiness, like little cards here that are like breaking it all up. Like every time you have a separation, so let's say that this is a hair card and this is another one that are like very thick. In between, I would use, oh, can I change color, please? Okay. I would use a hair card that has like a singular or 2 hair strands to break up the flow of the beard. All right. So something like that. And this is assuming that these are hair cards, but I believe they are considering how they're made. And then for this, for the feathers themselves, I would say what would have been good is maybe adding a little bit more variety in how they appear, but it's not necessarily problematic in that like it is giving it like a nice flow. But yeah, again, I'm gonna move on to another character. It's already been 15 minutes, but hopefully you can use that critique for the next character, Polish. All right. Okay. And that was E Caro. Oh, okay. I was looking at your portfolio. I think this is the piece that you wanted me to look at. But before jumping into it, let me look at the chat real quick. You can add small randomized transform on the sub hair cards group. Yeah, that would be really great. Just wanted to pop in to say, really appreciate the work you do. It's so hard to get quality help for free. Thank you so much for the comment, all that juice. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I kind of want to start doing that a little bit more often. Be a little bit more into the community because, I mean, it's really hard to do both, but I want to do my best to do it because it's really cool to connect with you guys. So yeah. Okay, E Caro, I have seen your piece. I love your piece. I really love it. I think this is such a cool character. I feel like you've really captured Boruto's, how should I say, personality. I feel like even like, how should I say, going beyond capturing his personality, I feel like you're giving him a manga look as well, which is really great. The materials you've sold, like how should I say, the jacket looks kind of like a satin material. The hair, you have some noise, but you also have the overall clumps. Yeah, overall, and oh yeah, and I saw that you also used, I believe this is MetaHuman, but I could be wrong. But yeah, this is so cool. Even made him walk. How the jacket is like interacting with the pants. This is really cool. You've made an amazing job on this character. So yeah, again, this is kind of like more of a shout out rather than like a critique. I don't have necessarily anything to say. Oh, these scans? Ah, interesting. Oh yeah, and you're even showing the... Oh, this would have been so cool too with the flaps here. Oh, okay, you are using scans. Well, you did modify them, but still. Okay, this is really cool. But yeah. So overall, like, very, very cool character. Yeah, I think this is really cool. Alright, I don't want to spend more time on this. Shout out to E Caro for his character. And let's go to the next one. I think I have time for 2 more. So let's do it. Let's do it. Hello, Anna. Is it too late to submit for review? I think for now it is too late. But you can share it on my Discord. Like, have people see it, see your portfolio. And then, you know, for the next one, you can, you know, be on the Discord and be on the lookout. I'll also announce it on my Instagram as well, for sure. Okay, let's check it out. Sculpt Prodigy. So here is your character, a little goblin. Really cool render that you did here. I love the little detail of the hoodie going behind the ear. The expression of the... Did you use a... No, okay. The expression of the troll or the goblin is like really cool as well. Really nice. I think it would have been really cool though if you added like some time of pose to the character. I think it would have added so much more. And okay, I'm gonna try to put my camera, guys, and hopefully it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't think it is. Be ready for the epilepsy attack. Okay, and because I really want to show what I had in mind. Oh, okay, it's working. So if the character was like a goblin, like kind of like this, sort of like mischievous in a way, maybe you could have made him in that, or maybe he was scared. I think that would have added like so much to your character. But it's still very cool. I think like the expression is giving already so much. The subsurface is really cool. Let's see. I think for me, so let me look at the cape. Did you have a back of the cape? Okay, so that's cool that you added some stitches to it to not make it like super flat. Although maybe it would have been cool to have some part of it be a little bit more damaged in that. So let me take a screenshot here. Because overall, I want to say like these are damaged a little bit the same way everywhere. So it would have been cool, for instance, to have it here be a little bit more damaged. Let's say have the letter be removed a little bit more to add variety. And maybe have some regions like, let's say, let's go back here to the top. Maybe where the buttons are. So let's go here. Maybe where the buttons are. Maybe you could have added some kind of like height to it or some type of thing to make it seem like it's interacting with the buttons. Because I'm not sure, I'm guessing this is a pin or something. But it would have been nice to see like maybe some cracks here to make it seem like, you know, when you're interacting with leather, it's very harsh, right? So any interaction is going to kind of break the leather. So if you're pinning something inside, it is going to be like cracking the leather a little bit more. So to have these things feel like they're interacting with each other could have been a nice touch to the character. So have like cracks, have it be a little bit more damaged here. Let's see what else. So this is cool that you added the logo. Maybe you could have it washed out a little bit more, or have, you know, the sun, since, oh, another thing, the sun, since it's hitting the hoodie, maybe you could have had the top of the hoodie be a little bit more beige, since, you know, it's taking some heat. Let's see. I like the gem. I like how you made it appear. I like here how it doesn't have the same amount of... This is cool. I like this. It's kind of like lava looking. little liquid here. I like the nails as well. I don't know if you chip them. That would have been a nice touch if you also like had some type of like chipping. But yeah, really cool character overall by Sculpt Prodigy. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. We have 2 left. Let's see if I can do them before the end of the stream. All right, so this is Adrian Valiente. Well, I don't know why I was gonna say your whole name. I was gonna be like Adrian Valiente Gonzalez. But yes, I remember you. I've seen this one on Instagram. This is really cool. Turning Red. I also saw the movie. It was really great. And from what I can remember of the character, I feel like you really nailed it. Like the expression, also like you really are nailing like the style, I feel. Or can I see the character? Yes, here. Like you're really nailing like the different shapes, how she's kind of like chubby on the arms and the legs. Yeah, overall like this is really great. I mean, I've already told you, right? Like that this is really great. I love how the hair, you're making it bounce here more at the bottom. The teeth, how they're like super big, and the different expressions you've made as well, like the little nose. It's not nosebleed, but whatever. This is really cool, and you made different variations. The socks, with shoes, with Canada flag, whatever. This is really cool. I kind of want to see what you did here for the knitting a bit closer. This is really cool. So I do wonder, I don't know if you're still in the chat or if you were at all, I don't remember. I do wonder, oh, were you trying to do like a game character? Let's see. Or was this supposed to be more like a movie? Because I can see, okay, so this is the topology. I think what would have been really cool for a character, since you're kind of like trying, I feel, to sell it maybe as like a movie character, since it comes from like a movie, unless that's not what you were trying to do. But maybe it would have been really cool to add some height to your knitting so that it really feels like they're there, like it's bumping. And maybe adding some fuzz to it, maybe like in XGen adding a little bit of like fuzzing everywhere so that it feels like it's not perfect and it's actually like even myself, like I have like some knits and you can see like, well, I don't know if you can see, but if you look close enough, you can see that it's kind of like ripping apart because of how much I've worn it, or, you know, go putting it in the laundry, stuff like that. So I think those would have been like really, really cool touches to add. But I feel like in terms of the character itself and how it appears, it's really cool, and you're really capturing the feel of like Pixar. And yeah, this is really cool. Even like the gin, how it's like, how should I say, it's washing off because of like, maybe it's like, how should I say, interacting, like, I only have the word in French, so unfortunately I can't think of it. But anyways, I really love how it's washed out in some parts. Even the legging, the little touches you did, like sport leggings. This is really a cool character. I think, like I said, overall for me, the only thing that would have been like the final touch would have been to like maybe add a little bit of bump to the knitting, but maybe that was not even your intention and you just wanted to show like kind of like a game ready Pixar type of character. So this is really cool. So yeah, congrats on the character, and very excited to see more of what you do. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm not connected on my ArtStation account because I wanted to follow you guys, but I guess I'll do it after. Okay, great job, Adrian. All right, last one from Gabriel. I don't know if you're still there, Gabriel, but we're finally at your portfolio, and let's have a look at it. First of all, amazing character. Like I said, I saw it on Instagram. Instantly loved it. The details you've put on the skin, the fold here, like how it's pulling with like his frown. It's really cool. And here, like, I don't think I've even seen those details like on Instagram because, you know, it's so small. But here I can clearly see like how the skin is interacting, like the little, it's so great. And like the little body hair you did here, the scratch, which is, whoa, kind of disgusting looking in a good way. It's really, really cool. And the body hair you did over here and there. This is really great. And it's, I think you said you rendered it in Marmoset, and this really looks like so good for like Marmoset rendering. This is really amazing. And I love that you kind of like have it in an environment, sort of. It's not an environment, but you have a certain presentation to it that is relevant to the universe of, was it Street? No, Tekken. I'm sorry, guys. I was gonna say Street Fighters. But yeah, like even the folds here, I think I mentioned it to you on Instagram, but like, how do you call them? The memory folds that you did. This is like such a cool character. And like the belt is gonna be stiff because it is a karate belt, so of course it's gonna be like stiffer. Like here, what you've, oh, and you made it like as a different piece. This is really great. This is such a nice presentation, and here the aura that's coming out of him, so nice. Really well done, Gabriel. Honestly, like I said to other, I don't have like any critiques for this type of character. This is already such a cool one. Even this, wow, like the muscles, like you've even made the paws and added the folds. This is really great. Wow. Amazing job. Wow, the skin here, discoloration. Amazing, amazing. What a good note to end on with this character. Congrats to everybody who shared their character with me today. Oh, and you even have the evolution. Nice. But yeah, congratulations to everybody who shared their piece with me today. Really appreciate all of you participating on this stream. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I should do more of these. I really want to try to do like once a month. Maybe I'll do once a month for like my Patreons members, and then maybe I'll do like, I don't know, once every 2 months for like everybody. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions, anything that you can think of to make this community more alive, you can join the Discord and help me build the community there. I have so many members, but I'm never doing anything. And like I said, I want to make it more alive. I want to add more to it. So yeah, don't hesitate to participate, share your portfolio. And what I want to start doing as well is I want to do like every month, I want to pick like a completed art piece that you will have posted on my Discord server, and kind of like do a shout out on my Instagram. So this way I feel like this can encourage you to post on Discord. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. Maybe kind of like have it as a ruffle. I'm not sure. But I really want it to be more interesting on there. So if you have, again, any suggestions, would really appreciate it. In the meantime, I do hope to see all of you on Instagram and on Discord, I guess. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the stream, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye, guys. Hope you liked it.